I played the whole trilogy back in the day. Some of my biggest playthroughs of my early content. What were my thoughts? Oh, they're amazing. Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy is absolutely outstanding. The whole Ezio auditory story. After that, I actually did not like Assassin's Creed 3. I did like 4. I thought 3 kind of sucked, but I love the entire trilogy of 2. Thank you, Steven. Steven saying he really liked the studio setup video I put out yesterday. If you didn't see it yet, it was during the podcast, but I actually split out that portion to be a separate video with like 25 minutes. I walked through everything here. I walked through my dual monitors, my microphone, my bridge cast, the lighting, the PCs, everything. So you can see the entire setup in that video from yesterday. Give it a look. I actually made it the featured video on the channel for now. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Why did I decide to go pro for Street Fighter? Honestly, it was motivation from people from my local arcade who had been going to tournaments. Like, I was playing Street Fighter in arcades in the 1990s locally in Connecticut and never really knew about a tournament scene or aspired to really do anything with that. And then people who had gone to my local arcade had gone to tournaments and had come back from these tournaments with all these new techniques they had learned and beating my butt, basically, in the arcades. Like, damn, where'd you learn that? Oh, I went to a tournament, in New Jersey. You got to go, Phil, because you'll see all these new players, these new styles. You'll learn stuff when you're there. You'll absorb like a sponge. And so it was a combination of that. And I'll be honest with you. I had a friend, a very close friend, who was kind of my rival in Street Fighter in the 90s. Like, he was always better than me, but slightly. So we kind of went back and forth, had great competition in our local arcade. He passed away. And he was one of the people who had tried to motivate me to go to tournaments. And after he passed away, I was like, dude, I got to do this like in his memory. I want to try and see what it's like. And I got hooked. I got hooked traveling and going to tournaments and playing against people from all different regions and learning and getting better. So it's kind of the origins of how I got into competitive Street Fighter. Because before then, I would just go every week, every Friday, Saturday night to the local arcade, pump quarters in the machine, play for a while, and have fun. And it was all about that. But it got more serious when people actually started like traveling and bringing back techniques of stuff that you didn't even know existed in the game. You're like, oh my goodness, that's crazy that they got so much better. Could I play with the He-Man action toy set on stream? Well, if I could teleport to Connecticut to the attic where it's in storage, maybe. I don't know. I don't have it here with me in Washington as a 43-year-old adult. I don't even know if it's still at my parents' house. I mean, they tell me that they saved a whole bunch of stuff from when I was a kid, and it's like in storage, but I don't even know if it's really there or not. I did own a Genesis. I owned it later on because I was a Nintendo. Well, first I was Atari, like I explained. Then I got into Nintendo because my cousins, my second cousins, my godfather, basically, his family, had all the Nintendo consoles. So I went over there and I saw them playing NES and I saw them playing like Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3. So then I eventually asked for and got an NES. Then I saw them playing Super Nintendo and Genesis and I was like, oh man. So basically they always had everything before me. They were like way more, rich than we were. But yeah, Super Nintendo was like first for sure. And then after that, basically, I had seen them playing Genesis at their house. And on top of that, there was a lot of Genesis kiosks around back in the day to advertise the console. And one of the places that they had it was like doctor's offices, like kids' doctors. So my child dentist's office had a Sega Genesis that had Sonic the Hedgehog and Echo the Dolphin. And so you would sit there and play it while you were waiting for your appointment. And you get hooked. You're like, oh my God, this is fun. This is good. This actually, it runs faster and has faster paced games than a lot of the Super Nintendo stuff. So after seeing it there, I kind of got hooked and ended up getting one, like later. But I had already had my Super Nintendo for like a year or two before I got a Genesis. So it was later on. But I did like the Genesis. I had a bunch of games like X-Men 1 and 2. Sonic 1 and 2, Sonic Spinball. What else? I'm trying to think what games I had. I had quite a few, but it eludes me right now off the top of my head what I actually owned. Nope, I've never done any IRL streaming. Reason being, here's the thing. I'm basically kind of coming out of the end of a decade of being one of the most clowned on people on the internet. Thankfully, I'm coming out of the end of it now and things are getting a lot better. But for example, let's say right now I were to say, hey, everyone, I'm going to my local mall and I'm going to film. Guess what would happen? People would go to the freaking mall and they would follow me around trying to film me and try to harass me and probably call the cops and try to swat them all. That's how these people are. They're like really messed up. So if I ever were to do any IRL kind of content, it would have to be completely unbeknownst to the public and then just kind of shown off after the fact. You understand? So I don't have any plans to do anything like that right now. I like doing the content I do now, but I'm not saying it's completely off the table in the future. Just I'd have to be very careful about how I go about doing it. Why is club music playing? Because we're at the club. It stopped playing. I started dancing and it stopped playing. Damn it. Well, yeah, sell me a waffle, but here's the thing. I just don't need to talk about it anymore. I'm doing so good. Like, literally, I'm doing so well right now, right? With views, engagement, support, the chill vibes of my streams, the fact that we are so separated from that crap. I don't need to talk about it. We just sit here and chill, and that's it. I don't even want to talk about any of the nonsense, the toxic stuff. We're good, right? Why even bother? Like, I almost feel like we're bringing the streams down, wasting time talking about that garbage, right? So why bother? Hold on one second here. Maybe I can smooth this background down a bit more. So. You like the Megabunk rave music? The Megabunk soundtrack is fun. The thing is, each character is different, right? I think each character has their own soundtrack, which is nice about the game. No, we have a carpet cleaner. My wife actually just cleaned all the upstairs carpets the other day, but not the office because I was working. Like this office, now that I actually have a clean floor, it's not like it used to be where everything was cluttered and crap. Like the office could use a carpet cleaner. The catch with the carpet cleaner is you need a whole day to use it because you clean the carpet, all this disgusting dirt comes out of the carpet, but then it's soaking wet and it has to dry. So you need to have like a whole day to let it dry. And that's the problem is I'm here working so often. Like, when do you have a chance to let it actually dry? We'd have to find like several days in a row or something, you know, we'd have to figure it out. No, my wife has not left me. She's just not in my content. She has no desire to be, which is how it should be for many people. Just because you're a streamer or a creator doesn't mean that you have to share and absolutely show every aspect of your private life to the public. It's better that way to have the separation. It really is. So the nonsense that people make up with absolutely no proof, of course, they just say stuff and then idiots want to believe it because they're mad or jealous at my success and they're sad that, oh no, a guy who we think shouldn't have been successful is. So let's try to cope by literally making stuff up on a daily basis about it. That's all it is. The Greed Goblin did a $2 super chat says, once cannabis is legal, we should review them. No.